Welcome. So we'll start, and as people trickle in, they will as they may. Thanks for joining me today. I am super passionate and super excited to share with you tonight about these specific supplements. I can't even hold them all at once. Bear with me. There's going to be a lot of information because I want to share all the information with you. So if you zone out for a minute, that's okay. Zone out, zone back in, grab a notebook, grab a pen, take some notes. If you have questions, you can unmute yourself as we go or pop them into the chat and I will answer them to the best of my ability. Okay. So I'm going to start. Let me just give you a snippet of information about myself because there's a lot of juicy information. So I worked as a medical assistant for almost 10 years, and then I was a health science and biology major, and health science is all about living longer, the science of healthier lifestyle. So after my time working as a medical assistant, I transitioned into a more holistic, whole person lifestyle. I teach yoga, I teach meditation, I sell these Doterra essential oils and their products. What else do I do? I'm a certified hypnotherapist. I do energy work with Reiki. My husband and I are starting our own company. I'm busy. So I need energy and I need to function at my optimal, I want to say optimal prime. It makes me think of Transformers, right? But that's what I need that. So I learned about these, to be honest with you, to the depth that we're going to go into just a few weeks ago. I've been taking them on and off for a while, but I've been consistent since I learned this information for the last 2.5 weeks. And I can tell you in the last 2.5 weeks, I absolutely see a difference. So maybe you can hear my neighbor's kid crying. Let's just dive right in. I am going to share my screen with you. And like I said, if you have questions, unmute yourself and we'll hop right in. Okay, so can you see the screen? Yeah, yes, cool. So how to increase your energy with vitamins and supplements, right? So as a people in the world, we're living longer. We have been living longer, let me say that. We have been living longer, but we're seeing an unhealthy trend of earlier disease onset in that longer lifespan. So basically we don't want to live longer with more disease. We want to live longer with less disease. For the first time in 22 years, life expectancy has gone down in the US, which is insane because we spend the most amount of money in healthcare. Anyways, that's a whole nother topic. But so we don't want to live longer with more disease. We want to live longer with less disease, right? So we want to compress the onset of that chronic disease into the very last years of our life. How can we do that? Our lifestyle, our toxic load, the choices that we make, our exercise, our nutrition, our food, our rest, our stress management, right? Yoga and meditation, whatever that looks like for you. So why supplements? I'm going to switch back and forth between my face and my screen. I didn't think that I needed supplements because I eat a pretty healthy, balanced diet. My husband is a chef. We eat a pretty well-balanced plant-based diet. We do eat some chicken and fish and occasionally a burger because all in moderation. And I teach meditation, I do yoga. I feel like I have an overall well-balanced lifestyle. But when I started to learn about how my body functioned at a cellular level and how I may be imbalanced at a cellular level without me even knowing it, the science person in me started freaking out and geeking out and was like, wait, how did I never learn this in all the years of school? How did I never learn this? How come nobody has ever told me this? So I had to share. So that's why I'm here sharing. Okay. So let's go back. What are the most common complaints? We want to live younger, longer, like I said. So the two most common complaints of aging are increased discomfort, like aches and pains, overall aches and pains, and lack of energy, a lack of vigor, or lack of vitality. So aches and pains are a perception that we have to some sort of stimulus to our cells. So pain is a response to a stimulus we call inflammation. Inflammation causes pain. What else causes our complaints of aging? Our lifestyle. Not enough sleep, too much stress, health issues, toxicity, poor diet, no exercise, right? And the other thing that has to do with aging is diminished mitochondria function, which I promise we will get into. So going to the next one. Slowing down the aging process. A common stressor that accelerates the aging process is free radical stress or oxidative stress, which we'll get into. Free radicals are molecules with one or more unpaired electrons, right? So they're unstable. So if you remember going back to biology, the molecules like electrons to be in pair. So when a free radical comes into contact with another stable molecule, it steals or rips away that molecule and creates instability. It's why it's called radical. It steals and rips it away. And that leads to stress in the body that we call oxidation, right? So what are free radicals? Free radicals are from outside toxins like pollution, UV sunlight, air pollution, smoking, processed foods, all of these external sources. But there's also internal sources of free radicals. So you can see here, these are the external sources in the orange, and then the internal sources are in the blue. There's way more stress from internal sources in the body of free radicals. So like, what can we do about that, right? So these internal free radicals cause this oxidative stress, this stress in our body. So oxidative stress comes from the internal production in our body. So we have these little cells called mitochondria. Mitochondria are the little engines that produce a chemical that we call ATP. ATP creates energy. So when we have this oxidative stress in our body, you can see this little diagram here, what it does to our heart, what it does to our skin, what it does to our kidneys, our joints. This oxidative stress causes havoc in our body, right? It causes skin aging, it causes cardiovascular issues, it causes macular degeneration, it just goes on and on. It's this never-ending cycle of stress in our body. So ATP is a natural production of what we have to have ATP to make energy. All of our energy for all of our life comes from ATP production. So in the mitochondria, we take the oxygen that we breathe and the food that we eat, and we produce this thing called ATP, bringing us all of our energy. But just like a car engine, there's an exhaust from that process. So what comes out of that process? Free molecules, right? These radical destructing things that come and steal electrons from other molecules. So here's an example of what oxidative stress does down to your cells. So here's like an apple, right? We've all seen this. You leave it out in oxygen too long, it starts to disintegrate and age and all of that. The same thing happens to our cells in this environment. And we have to have ATP to live. So you would think that our body would say, okay, what can we do about that? Do we have a natural solution? We do. Help us. Our natural solution is antioxidants. Antioxidants have electrons to spare. So when they come into contact with free radicals, they share their electrons, they neutralize them, and everything is fine, right? We avoid the damage, some of the damage and stress from free radicals in our cells. But what can we do to balance that oxidative stress? Where do we get antioxidants? So antioxidants come from everything. So they have external sources and internal sources, just like free radicals. We depend on antioxidants. We get antioxidants from the food that we eat, especially fruits and vegetables, right? So our body depends on our own internal production of a certain class of antioxidants. Some cannot be got from external sources. So what can we do? Well, the first thing seems like easy, right? Eat more fruits and vegetables. The more fruits and vegetables you eat, the more colorful, the more antioxidants you're getting into your body to help reduce that oxidative stress on the body. But this is why it's so important to consider adding a dietary supplement, because you can't, even if you tried to get rid of all the oxidative stress, you wouldn't be able to get rid of it because there's internal sources as well. We're making this stress inside of our body. And so we're going to go into this little oxidative stress. So what does it cause? Aging, cardiovascular disease, chronic inflammatory states, cognitive decline, how your mind functions, right? And on and on. So we'll get into that as we get further along. So where do we get antioxidants? We just talked about we get them from fruits and vegetables. We get them from some essential oils. Some essential oils function as antioxidants. So in this Z-Omega product, for example, clove is one of the most powerful antioxidants that we can use safely internally. And so when taking this Z-Omega, you're getting the equivalent of 12 servings of fruits and vegetables in your daily consumption. So let's be honest, not all of us are getting the fruits and vegetables that we need. So we can help that response by adding a supplement in. Okay. So what other nutrients can we help to minimize that oxidative stress? So there are certain foods that have essential fatty acids, like found in fish. And most of us have heard of like omega-3s and omega-6 fatty acids, and some plant-based essential fatty acids that can help alleviate this process. So let's talk about omega-3 first, which is like the fish, right? We find that in fish. Okay, that slide's not in the right spot, so whatever. We'll get back to that later. But the alpha CRS helps, that's what we're gonna talk about at the end, helps with muscle and joint pains and the overall aging response, right? So mood and brightness. So some of the other effects of these supplements are helping you not to feel run down or tired. They create immediate energy in the body. And when we say essential nutrients, we mean nutrients that cannot be made in your body. You have to get them from external sources, such as the food that you eat or supplements that you're taking. So these a foundation of essential nutrients can support healthier immune system, better sleep, healthier skin. So this has been studied and clinically supported for optimal nutrition, for decreasing inflammation, increasing energy, protecting your DNA, increasing your immune support, increasing stress management, and on and on and on. So if you were to go and get all the ingredients at the levels that are presented in the Lifelong Vitality Pack in the market today, you would easily be spending over $250. But at the levels that they're in. And so the alpha CRS, we'll talk about that at the end, that's at the cellular level, right? The Z-Omega is the omega-3s and omega-6s, which we're going to get into, and then the vitamin and minerals, which we all kind of have some knowledge about, right? So even if you bought each one individually, you'd be saving over $100 easily. But doTERRA wants everybody taking these for the rest of their lives as a foundational part of essential wellness. So if you buy them as a kit, it's the lowest price you can get them at, $79.50. And doTERRA believes in the efficacy of them so much that they offer 100% money back guarantee. So if you don't feel better, if you take them every day, get your money back. It's simple. Okay, so first some science behind the Lifelong Vitality Pack, the chemistry, the biology from an evidentiary standpoint. I promise I will do my best to keep this short, but this is where I kind of geek out. So let's look at the definition of nutrition, right? So nutrition comes with a lot of baggage. It's like waist size and emotional baggage and all this stuff, but we're talking about nutrition, the rather dry, soulless, mechanical act of delivering nutrients to individual cells or tissues in order to optimize their function. So you think of this nutrition as feeding the cells individually to your body, feeding your brain, your neurologic system, your skeletal system, your vascular system, all of your systems in order to keep them functioning optimally. So in order to feed your cardiovascular system, you have to optimize what you're feeding them at a cellular level. So again, optimal nutrition at the cellular level leads to optimal function of your essential biology. So first is the omega supplement, first the omega supplement. We're going to talk about that. So the critical important factor is that the body wants balance at the cellular level. The body is way more interested in having balance rather than absolute amounts. So absolute amounts mean if you have way too many or way too few, but the body is really interested in balance. The problem is a lot of us are out of balance. So let's talk about omega-6s and omega-3s. Omega-3s are good for you. Most people know that they want to have a high omega-3 diet. What we don't realize is your body is profoundly accustomed to a lopsided intake of omega-6 fatty acids compared to omega-3 fatty acids. So omega-6 cannot be made in your body. They are completely dependent about what you put in your mouth. But the thing is, omega-6s are everywhere. You can get way too many of them unintentionally. They come from vegetables, corn, soy, safflower, grain-fed meats, processed foods, conventional eggs. They come from all over our diet. And we tend to get too much without knowing it. Omega-3s, again, cannot be made endogenously. They cannot be made in your body. You must get them in your diet. And they can be harder to obtain. So they come from more unique sources. They come primarily from salmon and tuna and herring and mackerel and anchovies, right? And two of the most powerful and unique omega-3s are EPA and DHA. So omega-3, the DHA and the EPA comes from those primarily from fish, salmon, tuna, herring, all of that. The other omega-3, ALA, tends to be more of like the hippie diet. So if like you're living with me in Marin, then like you probably get a little bit more than the average person because it's all around you, right? Like plant oils and walnuts and seeds and flax seeds and hemp oil and canola oil and Brussels sprouts and kale and spinach. It's not great in our body, as great as potent as EPA and DHA, but it does what it needs to do as far as omega-3s. So here's the thing, the body wants balance. If we're getting omega-6s all over the place in our diets and not that many omega-3s, where are we at? So here's what it gets interesting. And the consequences start to accumulate. We get a ton of omega-6 fatty acids, totally unintentionally, totally involuntarily, just by eating a regular human being diet. Even if you're trying to get omega-3s, it's hard to get enough. So what we end up with is this lopsided ratios of up to 30-to-1 omega-6s to omega-3s. That's the average, 15-to-1. What your body wants is balance. It wants neutral ratios. It wants 1-to-1. So we're way out of balance, even if we eat like the American, I would call the advanced American average diet, right? So these are diet-based because we don't make omega-6s and omega-3s in our bodies. They are completely dependent on what we put in our mouth, what we put in our body. So that's why it depends what you're eating so much. So when we fall out of these neutral ratios, which most of us are outside of these neutral ratios, we start to get out of balance. Studies start to indicate we actually see measurable consequences when we're 3-to-1, 4-to-1, 5-to-1, and most of us are 15-to-1 or more. So both omega-6s and omega-3 require access to the same metabolic enzymes. So if you have 15 times more 6s than 3 in the game, that's unfair. I mean, think about it. Like it's football season, right? If you have 15 times more players on one side than the other, it's completely unfair. There's no balance. And omega-3s can be hard to get, and we need them for our metabolic pathways. So it causes imbalance. What are the imbalances that it causes? Pro-inflammatory cytokines. So what does that mean? Cytokines are little messengers of molecules that are used to go out and send signals. Pro-inflammatory cytokines signal molecules to go out and say, hey, there's a problem. We need to recruit some help to the area. You guys, there's so many spelling errors in here because I made this in like 5 hours and didn't read it. So my bad. talk about a busy lifestyle, needing all the energy I can get, right? So inappropriate is what it's supposed to say. Omega-3 consumption compared to omega-6 consumption, just based on the chemistry level, releases more pro-inflammatory cytokines than we need, i.e. gives us inflammation, exhaustion, confusion. Chronic inflammation is a dysfunction that spills over into every area of our lives and our bodies. So this is a real problem. Your messenger molecules are bombarding your body incessantly with functionally distress signals saying, help, help. And what do? They create inflammation. So here's the consequences. Chronic inflammation that sparks and perpetuates metabolic syndrome, which can cause and lead to diabetes and hypertension or increased blood pressure or vascular disease or cancer risk or diabetes. The list goes on and on and on, right? It also, your inflammatory system is directly and correlated to your immunologic system. So they rely on the same machinery. So it's kind of like a total eclipse. When one's not working correctly, the other one's not working correctly. So if your inflammatory response is chronic and real, and it's taking a toll on your immune system, which then impairs you to respond to infections or anything really, which makes you more susceptible to immunologic dysfunction or colds or autoimmune diseases. That's why we call it autoimmune compromise, right? Chronic pain and fatigue. Everything takes a toll on your body. This chronic inflammation has real consequences. But just like there's real consequences, there's real benefits, okay? And the benefits are widespread when you bring the omega-6 and the omega-3s into balance. So again, we're talking about balance at a nutritional cellular level. So balance equals reduced triglyceride levels. So cholesterol coming down, turning down the chronic inflammatory state in the body, optimizing the function of your most essential biology at the most fundamental layer. So benefits of balance again, reduce risk for cardiovascular disease. You guys, heart disease, cardiovascular disease is the #1 leading cause of death in America. #1. So just the fact that there's evidentiary science-based support and research saying that this reduces the risk for cardiovascular disease, like I'm in. I've had, how do I get back to my face? Okay. I've had countless, my grandfather to my uncles have died from massive heart attacks. So like this is real and we should be treating it like it's real. So this is why I get like so passionate and so crazy about this stuff, because it's just about knowledge. Once you have the knowledge, you can choose what you want to do with it, right? So let's see, I'm going to go back to the slides. Maybe I'll keep showing you my face for a while so you don't have to get so bored of all the slides. Okay, yeah, so I can show you my face for this part. So we're talking about minerals and vitamins now, which is the Microplex vitamins blend, right? So this is essential ingredients for the cellular process. So essential ingredients of vitamins and minerals. Most of us know like vitamins and minerals, we should get, a good handful of them. The thing is we tend to think more is better, right? And we're talking about at the cellular level, again, the cells want balance. They don't want more is better. They want balance. Okay, I'm showing you the screen for this one because it's got pretty pictures. How do I get back? Oh, me. All right, here we go. Okay. Share screen. All right. So the importance of what happens in vitamins and minerals is the importance of presentation. So when you're eating an orange, you're getting more than just vitamin C. When you bite into an apple, you're getting more than just the apple. You're getting a cloud of vitamins and minerals and enzymes and coenzymes and cofactors and catalysts and all of these freaking things that help you digest the apple, that helps aid the adherence and the absorption and the recognition and the utilization of how your body uses it, right? So when you eat the apple, all of those things that you're eating contribute to your biology and the way it's absorbed in your body. But what happens in most vitamins and nutrients is that the way that they're presented in the supplement, the body doesn't recognize them. The body doesn't recognize them as nutrients and supplements, so it doesn't use them. It just sends them to the kidneys and the liver and puts more toxic load on the body. So these vitamins and minerals are presented and formulated in a way that your body recognizes them as food. Okay, so now we're getting into like the fun, juicy stuff. So cellular vitality, right? So again, we're talking about nutrition at the cellular level. So a collection of nutrients, like we were just talking about, can help the chemistry production of ATP. Remember, ATP is where we get all of our energy. And in a blend called the cellular energy blend, where I'm looking for it, the alpha CRS, which we're going to get to at the end because it's so good. All these products, you may have heard of them or seen them before, but not at these levels with these degrees of ingredients, because doTERRA doesn't fairy dust. Fairy dust is what it's supposed to say. So people, when they fairy dust, they put a list of ingredients just so they could put it on the label, even though it's low. But these levels have been shown in clinical studies to be a very powerful blend of nutrients that help the mitochondria produce ATP, i.e. energy. So we're going to get back to that. Cellular vitality, right? We also talk about mind health. Like, I'm not as sharp as I used to be. I'm forgetful. I forgot my keys. I had a friend the other day put her cell phone in the fridge. Like, yeah, it's real, you guys. Our mind is like, well, I need help. So ginkgo biloba is added into that alpha CRS to support memory and focus and anti-stress and neuroprotective, right? Okay, so again, we're talking about cellular vitality at the cellular level. This is when we get into the juicy. So alpha CRS is, okay, I'm gonna come back. I'm like so close to my screen, I don't know why. Okay, so the E omega, right, is the omega complex that we talked about. Omega-3s, omega-6s, we want them to be in balance. We don't want to be out of balance because out of balance creates inflammation. We talked about the microplex vitamins, right? Vitamins and nutrients, minerals that are presented in the way that the body can understand what they are and how to use them, not creating more work for the body to try and figure out what they are. The last one we're talking about is alpha CRS. So this one is, you can see at the bottom, cellular vitality complex. This is for the cells at the cellular level. Like, geek out city, nobody does science like doTERRA does science that I have experienced, and you're talking to someone who's been studying science for 7 years, okay? So let's talk about alpha CRS and the genius that doTERRA is for putting this together the way it is. So first of all, has two main objectives: to enhance cellular energy production at the cellular level and defend the cell against oxidative stress. Remember that oxidative stress that we talked about earlier that creates inflammation and diabetes and heart disease and all those things? So it defends against that. Okay, the bottom one, exogenous provision. What does that mean? Okay, providing sources of energy as a stimulant to your body that it cannot produce on its own. So like caffeine, right? Caffeine tickles some receptors. It makes your body feel good. It's coursing with energy, and then it's not sustaining. It leaves and you're depleted. Endogenous is where your body is equipped to create and manufacture its own energy. It has its own machinery for the production of energy. That's where we want to work. And that machinery is the mitochondria, which we talked a little bit about earlier. Okay, come on, computer. Okay, so the mitochondria, remember, they produce the ATP. They have the exhaust. That exhaust is free radicals, and that causes damage, right? Like, you guys are like, why did I sign up for biology tonight? So mitochondria, they produce energy via this very complex biochemical reaction called mitochondrial respiration. Who cares? The point is they make exhaust, and we need to support them so they don't hurt us internally, because this has to happen every day in our bodies. We have to live. We have to have ATP to have energy. So what can we do to support that? We can alleviate that stress as much as possible with these enzymes that support the cells, like coenzyme Q10 and alpha lipoic acid, and I can't even remember how to say this one, acetylene carnitine. That's what it is. Who cares? Again, whatever, right? The point is there's enzymes to help the mitochondria at the mitochondria level, to support ATP production, to support energy. So coenzyme 10 sits on the mitochondria, like it sits on it, you guys. This is exactly where respiration, the exhaust, happens. So if it's right there, it can enrich the mitochondria's function and enhance its efficiency by cutting down that exhaust, okay? Alpha lipoic acid, or ALL. Alpha lipoic acid is like the sous chef, right? It assists the molecules. So these are the ALL, help do the cleanup work. They're like the big robots that do the heavy lifting at the car factories. And you can measure, okay, hold on. Let's look at these real quick. Cofactor, yeah, mitochondrial. So they actually do the work. They do the heavy lifting. I'm coming back because this is heavy. So they help do the heavy lifting. They like pick up the big things and they move them around, right? And you can measure the health of a membrane by different tests, and we're not going to get into that because nobody cares. The point is you can measure it. And some of the preliminary data suggest that ALL may enhance biogenesis. Okay. Biogenesis means making more mitochondria. Mitochondria produce ATP, and ATP give us energy. So remember, a natural state of the process of aging is a decline in the function and the number of your mitochondria. That just happens as you age naturally. So if something like ALA, or alpha lipoic acid, can help increase the number of mitochondria, seems pretty brainless to me. Why would want it, right? Okay. So we talked about biogenesis, right? Yes. So wouldn't it be nice to find a way to slow down the process of our mitochondria declining? There is ALA. Okay. The next one is I can't even remember how to say it. Acetyl L-carnitine, I can't remember. ALCAR, right? ALCAR, again, sits on the mitochondrial membrane and helps shuttle, like drive around fatty acids into energy-producing pathways. So what does that mean? It improves mitochondrial function and output. It makes them stronger, increases their mass and their structure, making them stronger and more robust and able to produce more ATP, more energy. And increases the production of mitochondria, which slows down the natural process of decline that comes with aging. Okay. So your biochemistry is all worked out as concrete as you can ever imagine. So nourishing your essential biology at the cellular level is what it's about. So these CoQ10 and ALA and ALCAR have human level data as preliminary stages showing increased biochemistry, increased mechanisms, and are well validated. It's not a stimulant. It's not a caffeine. There's no sugar. There's no stimulants in it. The goal is to create a sustained, deep level effects at the most fundamental level of your cellular biology, down to the very cell. to enrich the environment in which the mitochondria grows in. So like composting the soil, right? You don't compost the soil in 5 days later, you get all this better crop. Like the next year, your crop is like stronger and richer and more drought resistant, and your plants are sturdier and you produce more, and et cetera. The goal is to enhance the output and preserve longevity, to attenuate decay, to stop, or not stop, but slow down the aging process, right? To stop the oxidative stress that's happening in our body, because oxidative stress at the end of the day can cause damage to the DNA inside of the cells, and that's what we're worried about. But what makes peace with that oxidative stress? Antioxidants, and antioxidants are evidentially supported in this alpha CRS. Okay, we're almost there, guys. So alpha CRS functions as an antioxidant to aid oxidative stress. So the 3 ones that we just talked about function as antioxidants. So they're able to clean up while they're powering up the factory, which is crazy and amazing. And you will not see that in a lot and almost all supplements. It helps your body recycle antioxidants and defend your cells while it's doing that. So it helps your own body's ability to make more energy and recycle antioxidants, that we want more antioxidants to come and settle down the free radical crazy things. And it enhances your own body's ability to manufacture. Oh, I put that in twice. Okay, awesome. Probably nobody would have caught that if I didn't say that. And so it's optimizing the nutrition at the cellular level to enhance your energy at the cellular level and to defend the cells against that oxidative stress. Right? So it creates a ripple effect. The more you improve the cellular function, the more you improve the systems that they interact with. And larger systems and larger systems and larger systems, until it gets to every system of your body and you're functioning at a more optimal level, starting from the cells. So short-term benefits: improved energy, stamina, mood, and cognition. Right? Reduced aches and pains, reduced crashes, healthier inflammatory and immunologic function. So healthier inflammatory response and greater immunology, like getting sick less. The second tier benefit, which is the part that's so amazing, is the long-term benefits, the grander vision. This is why they call it live younger, longer, because we want to compress the morbidity rate. So morbidity is the cause of disease, the chronic disease in our lifespan. So we're living longer, but we're getting diseases sooner. I don't want that. I don't know about you. So with a healthy lifestyle, you can delay the onset of chronic disease by 7 to 12 years or more, depending on how your lifestyle is, right? So like if you're eating a clean nutritional diet and your physicality and movement and exercise is okay. There's one thing I want to say about exercise. We talked about biogenesis. Okay, hold on. Let me go through this and then we're done. So hold on. Exercise, indulgence, and healthy relationships with friends and families, intellectual engagement and stimulation, reliable sleep, better sleep, easier sleep, and helps you avoid bad habits. So I want you guys to write this down. If you have questions, you can email me and you can unmute yourself. I'm live here. We're like, we got through that in 40 minutes, you guys. That's amazing. I thought it was going to take me like an hour and a half, I swear to God. So if you have questions, write that down. That's my email. If you want to read more about it, I'm happy to email you Doterra's like PDF about the Lifelong Vitality Pack. I'm happy to answer individual questions. You can always unmute yourself and ask me now. So the email is soulperspective365@gmail.com. And my doTERRA site is mydoterra.com, Jasmine Smith 108. Okay. I think I'm going to come back. Good. Yeah. Okay. So I wanted to say one thing about exercise. So we talked about biogenesis, which biogenesis is making more mitochondria. Exercise is another way. It's 100% proven to stimulate biogenesis, 100% proven to stimulate more mitochondria production. So it's all about balance. Like we're not going to like start taking these and then do nothing. We're not going to like eat hamburgers and hot dogs and milkshakes every day and like never move our bodies. And this is not going to happen. It's about balancing out. So it's about having a supplement that's helping your cells at the cellular level, which you guys like just can't like get over, because hello, we're cells. At the end of the day, that's what we are. And we're like in this vessel that we're like supposed to take care of. And there's so many different ways that we can take care of it. Like I said, like, you know, healthy eating and moving your body and rest and sleep and all of those things. If you can't tell, I'm like super hyped up because I get so like hyped up about this kind of stuff because I studied this for so long and never learned these things. And when I learn something and I try something and it helps me and it works for me, I'm like, hey, I want to share it. That's the bottom line. So like we literally didn't talk about oils once this whole time because these are so packed full of information. I wanted to share all the amazing things that they can do for you in your body at the cellular level. If you want to learn more about oils, I'm going to do another workshop like this next Tuesday, same place, same time. So 6 p.m. It's going to be online. And I want to go over what the oils do at a cellular level. Because that's my like background. That's what I like to share. And that's where that's what I'm most passionate about. And this company is hands down the most generous company I've ever met in my life. Like I can talk about them forever. And in the sake of time, I'll tell you like 2 quick stories. So they started in 2007 because they didn't see essential oils at 100% pure therapeutic grade on the market. So meaning that they weren't synthesized, there weren't additives, they weren't cutting agents to make them feel like they were doing something, but they weren't. But you guys, these also, they work at the cellular level. They can penetrate the cell membrane, and we'll talk about this next time because then you're going to be like so overwhelmed with information. In ways that nothing else can. Medication can't, antibiotics can't, chemotherapy can't. They can. They're like plant magic in a bottle. And this company's heart is so amazing and generous. What they do is they go out to where the oils are indigenously the plants are indigenously found, and they source them from that spot. It's called co-impact sourcing. And they educate the farmers. And like one of our best-selling oils is frankincense. You guys, it's made in Somalia. It's not made, it's grown. I can't even speak anymore. It's grown in Somalia in a forest it's a resin on a tree. And these clans have been, these forests have been passed down generation by generation. And for the last hundreds of years, thousands of years, like they brought frankincense to baby Jesus, you know? These farmers have been working with middlemen and been paying peanuts to get this essential oil from this tree resin. And Doterra came in and they just wanted to cut out the middleman, and they wanted to guarantee efficacy of the oil, and they wanted to support the local farmers. And so they flew into Somalia, 2 white people. I mean, these people have never seen white people in their life. Like they flew in, and this was, I think, 6 years ago. And they said, we want to partner with you, want to cut out the middlemen. They paid them 10 times more than they were making. They paid these farmers in a third world country 10 times more than they were making, which blows my mind. Okay. And then they got 30 clan leaders who never in the history of ever in Somalia together, because they wanted to work together to create sustainability. They wanted plants and the trees to last forever. They wanted everybody to be educated on how to not over harvest and how to grow organically and all of those things. That had never been done in the history. 30 competing clans come together to say, how can we work together? Because that's how doTERRA's heart is. They put a medical team there. And then they came to them, they brought clean water. This is like out in the desert, you guys. They brought clean water in, and then they came to them and said, what can we do to help you? And the Somali people said, we need to educate our children. We live in the desert. Our children need to be educated. And doTERRA said, okay, we want to educate your children, but you only believe in educating your boys. And we don't believe in that. We want to educate your girls too. And because of the relationship that doTERRA had built over the years with these farmers, they said, this is a Muslim country. They said, okay, you can educate our girls too. That's like one of 7,000 stories, I swear to God, that I could tell you, because their heart is so built into what they do. And that's why when you see people who work with doTERRA being so passionate and sharing and sharing and sharing, it's because, one, the shit works, and two, you're helping, like you're supporting here on the ground in the US and over the world. Changes, like immense changes. And I think that specifically, that story hit home for me because like my dad's Muslim. So I come from a Muslim like my dad, you know, so I'm like, can I imagine if I grew up in a place where like they wouldn't have educated me? No, I can't imagine that, you guys, because like I geek out and stuff like this. I can't. So that story is just one that I like to share about the heart and the philanthropic heart of this company and their soul. They're amazing. Again, I could go on and on. So if you have questions, you can unmute yourself or email me. Oh, how do you get them? Let me show you that if you're interested. Let me share my screen with you again. Oh shoot, I shared the wrong screen. You share. This screen. Let's see. So if you're interested in getting them, there's a couple ways. If you already have an account, okay, let's start this way. If you don't have an account, you can go to that website that I gave you, mydoterra.com/JasmineSmith108. You can click join and save, and you can sign up as a wellness advocate. That's what I am. I advocate for the company, or a wholesale customer. A wholesale customer gets 25% off the products and all these other amazing benefits that we can talk about next week. You hit join doTERRA, you type in all your information. Oh, select your language. Choose how you're going to sign up, put on in your information, and then it will take you to tell you what you want to order. Oh, computer, stop. Okay, it's not listening. I want to go to another, maybe I can just do this. Tab. So this is the like lifelong vitality PDF from doTERRA that I'm happy to email to anyone who wants it. Just shoot me an email and I will send it to you. And oh, that's why, because it logged me out. So I just wanted to show you. So then you can go on and purchase the lifelong vitality pack under supplements. You guys, are so many more amazing things, but we can't get into it all tonight because I honor your time and I know you're busy. And I'm so happy that you joined me. Anyways, here it is, $79. It's a month supply. And the amazing thing about this company is, again, like they have these loyalty rewards programs where if you order this every month, for example, like if you make an investment of $80 a month towards your health, they give you points back every month. You start accruing 10%, then 15%, then 20%, then 25%, and over a year, you're up to 30% of points back and all of your shipping costs back in points. And so you can then start to order oils with points that you have and other things. So the heart of the company is just so amazing. They truly want everybody to experience wellness and vitality, and this is one of the ways. And I felt like supplements and vitamins were something that everybody is curious about. So this was an easy way for me to share, and it makes sense to me and it's important to me. And so are the oils and all of their amazing benefits, but we'll get into that next week. If you have any questions, I'll hang out for a few minutes. If you want me to walk you through signing up or anything. Oh, I want to tell you one more thing. Last thing, where is it? So if you can earn a free lifelong vitality pack by signing up with Doterra. So this month, their special is if you place 100 PV enrollment order. So if you enroll, if you're brand new this month, and you sign up with 100 PV, which is product value, basically equal in the States to dollar amount, in September, and then opt into the loyalty rewards program that we were just talking about, where you can earn free points and credits, and place 100 PV order in October. Like, so maybe you order next month, you order some oils and a diffuser and you're, you know, whatever. doTERRA will send you a free lifelong vitality pack with your order. So let's say you order this month a lifelong vitality pack and maybe a couple other things, one or two more other things to get you to 100 PV. You have 30 days, 100% money back guarantee to get your money back if you decide that LLV didn't work for you. And if you decide that it did, then you can place a 100 PV order next month and get the next pack for free. Pretty freaking cool, right? So questions on that, let me know. And now I'm just rambling because you guys are still here. So if you have questions, ask them. Thanks for coming. Y'all are amazing. I'll put my face back on. Questions, email me. Thanks, guys. Bye.